Oh my gosh. NCAA Finals, emergency FRL. We just had the, I think it's not hyperbole. It's the biggest upset in college wrestling history.
Okay, so it's definitely debatable. The next one that comes to mind, Gable Owens. I think that's what's
Yeah.
considered the greatest
I mean,
upset
Wyatt Hendrickson
ever.
takes out Gable Steveson. Crazy match. A lot of exchanges, honestly. And it comes down to 15, 20 seconds to go. Wyatt fires a high crotch, and he doesn't have two hands on it. It's just like one arm on it, and he's able to somehow knee pound in, gets his hips under, doubles off for the takedown, and Gable was flattened on his belly, and this place went insane. I've never experienced a crowd like that. I've never experienced a wrestling moment like that. It changes how I view this sport. It really does. This was the unthinkable. I mean, everyone I did the show with said this is unthinkable, and I was right there with them. Um, and yet, Wyatt Hendrickson and the crew at Oklahoma State really thought he could, and I'll be darned if he didn't just pull the upset of upsets. I'm
And
in awe.
in a way, nobody thought he would have done it, right? We say he's a pinner. He's probably going to have to put Gable on his back somehow.
Yeah.
Didn't just straight out, flat out beat him in a takedown off.
Yes, he did. And you know what? I just we've been running around, and I just talked with David Taylor about it, and he said the key for Wyatt there, and the key that they knew was patience. You're not going to be able to run through this guy early. You're going to have to pick your spots. This is the best reattacker maybe the world's ever seen. There's nothing like it. And it almost bit Wyatt, and Wyatt did give up a takedown, and he nearly was reattacked another time. And that patience, it paid off in full. And as it got down in the third period, it's like, I mean, for Oklahoma State fans, you got to be feeling. I mean, if we're going to pull upset, it's probably not going to be a wire to wire win. It's probably going to be something crazy, and something crazy absolutely happened. And then it was just magic on the floor afterwards. Um, it's kind of it was just a magical moment for wrestling, and Gable helped make it magical. He was such a champion in defeat. It was insane. It was just so impressive, right? That the the respect he showed Wyatt coming out there on the podium, the love he was showing fans, and if Gable doesn't come back, we don't get a moment we are going to be talking about for the rest of our wrestling lives. This is going to be in the conversation for the all-time moments. If you saw it live, if you were here, if you were watching online, if you heard about it, it's going to be one of those things. We didn't see Larry Owens and Dan Gable. We talk about it multiple times a year. And this is just one of those that is now in that conversation and maybe starts the conversation.
100%. You can immediately tell you just witnessed history.
Yes.
Like, you it is one of those moments that will be talked about forever. And thank goodness it is in a day and age where video exists so that we can see it, watch it, and sort of experience it. If you weren't here, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rub it in, but
Yeah.
you just truly do not know what it was like in this arena. It made me emotional.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It was I'm running, I don't know where, just running, or you go crazy. I went crazy. I think everyone just went crazy in their own special way, just like not knowing how to react, not knowing, and just taking it in. Everyone collectively freaked out in this building. It was unreal. And every person, every wrestler is down on the floor walking around, and they all have the same look, and you kind of catch eyes with them, and everyone's just like, what? That really just happened. The unbeatable, the greatest heavyweight we've ever seen, just lost. And it wasn't a weird thing. It wasn't a fluke thing. It wasn't a controversial thing. The dude just went after him at the end and got a takedown and wrote him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So I'm sure
There's a lot of stuff to branch off.
Yeah.
This is our just kind of immediate rapid reactions show. Monday we'll be back normal time
Yeah.
in our studio, and we'll kind of get into more stuff like, all right, now who wins Hodge?
Yeah.
Hodge talk.
I mean,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the effect this will have on the Oklahoma State program. and David Taylor and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot to get into, a lot of numbers, but we're just
Lot.
going to kind of lock in on finals
Let's
here tonight.
let's go to 84 and do a match that certainly deserves its flowers and two amazing competitors. And Starocci gets it done. One takedown match. He threatened a couple times on the reattack. Ultimately, late takedown for Carter. I think it was a reattack takedown, or he doubled off and got the score, which was the difference late in that third period. And Carter goes out a 5-time national champion. There's a lot of discussion about the decision to have him first. And he didn't appreciate it. Carter didn't appreciate it. He wasn't a sore winner about it, but he felt like he probably deserved a little extra limelight. I think that the decision thought it was doing that match justice, but I'm not as sure. But either way, I mean, we ended with the. Imagine if we didn't end with Wyatt Hendrickson
I know.
versus Gable Stevenson.
Right.
Good. I mean, so
It
I
was
said
absolutely the climax.
the claw.
Like,
Yeah.
Jordan Bros tweeted it tonight. You're welcome, because I think he took. I'm sure he took some flack.
Yeah.
Kind of defending ESPN's decision
Yeah.
to make that last.
Yeah. So, but Parker goes out a champion in his own right, and got to talk with him. He's got good perspective, of course, as you knew he would, and he's eyeing freestyle. I do want to kind of get through every weight quickly because they're just like taking everything down.
I know, literally
So
right next to us.
we'll kind of go hyper
It
mode
is
through
behind.
everything, and then if they don't mess with us, we'll keep going. And then let's wrap around 25. Vincent Robinson gets it done. Tiebreaker win. Not a lot of exchanges. Troy was pretty. He was not as engaged. It felt like Vincent was trying to go after it, and an early he got a quick escape, and maybe something else that got him a point. I don't even recall. No, that was it. He just got away, and Vince had to go neutral.
Yep.
And then yeah,
Or
Troy had to go
Spratly.
neutral.
Spratly
Troy had to go neutral.
Neutral. Yeah, I think Spratly just really respected the reattack game of Robinson. That's what kind of got him in their duel. Neither guy really wanted to take an attack, and
Yeah.
so it kind of turned into a bit of a slow snoozer match.
This was but 33 low scoring but very exciting. There were so many exchanges on the edge, on the wire, all near takedown for Lucas, near takedown for Drake, and ultimately in tiebreaker 2. It's sorry, Lucas Bird. A stall call is the difference for Lucas Bird, and this stall call is going to be discussed a lot, and I think for good reason. But I believe the accumulation of edge back into the edge from Drake and winding up in the edge, disengaging under attack, led to it. And so in that way, I understood the call and felt it was probably it's somewhere in some point in that match. Lucas earned 2 calls, in my opinion.
I kind of felt the same. That call doesn't get made if that's the first time
No.
Drake has a somewhat, I don't even know if I want to say controversial, but kind of controversial time going out of bounds, right? He did it multiple times where Illinois wanted stall. You do that once, he got away with it. Did it twice, got away with it. Where it's iffy. I don't want to say got away with it where it's kind of 50-50, but you can only get so many of those before the referee goes, I got to hit you.
Yep.
And that's what it was.
Ultimately, and yet Drake had chances. It felt like what surprised me was the physicality of Lucas Bird. He moved him around in a way we hadn't seen. We've seen him wrestle 2 matches. The first match, I felt like they were both really kind of cautious. Second match, first period, not much happened there. Not a lot to really glean from it. And then the pin, so not a lot to glean from that. And then this match, it felt like Lucas. I don't know if he was bigger and stronger this far from the scale, but he moved Drake around in a way that did surprise me. One of the higher scoring matches, 141 final. Jesse Mendes gets it done. Everyone knows my thoughts at all times because I give you all of them, and I just felt like something's up with Jesse. From Von Bar, close win, to the Bow loss, to 2 losses at Big Tens, and losing in ways that just didn't make sense to me. But he just dogged up twice. I mean, that Bo Bartlett win was big dog stuff. And then he's down 5-0 to Brock Hardy. And he gets off the bottom.
Don't give a rip.
He doubles through his chest for 3 and rides out the first. And you're like, man, he's fully back in, and he did not look back from there. He peppered him with a couple more takedowns, and the key exchange takedown right to a tilt.
Yep.
And that was ultimately when you're like, I don't know, even with someone with Brock Hardy's point scoring ability, I don't know if he can do it.
Mendes just felt like I'm not going to be denied.
Yeah.
Don't care who's in front of me. It was his week. I don't care how hot Brock Hardy is. He was going to find a way to win.
Yep. And that's exactly my observation as well. And then Brock Hardy's teammate Ridge Lovett gets it done. 1-0 final. He was walking the tightrope, man. Caleb Henson had him under threat. And they even called the 3 at one point, right? Did they call it?
No, I don't think.
Or they didn't
don't
call
think
it and got
so.
challenged. There was a
Yes.
challenge on a takedown. I'm pretty sure they called it.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
they
maybe
called it and
did.
overturned it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. Sorry. You got to bear with us a little bit. We're going straight off memory, but I'm pretty sure they called the 3 and wiped it for Henson. He was attacking the legs. But what I would say in that first period, Ridge was really moving Henson around. He got a stall warning, and Caleb made the decision to go neutral in the second period. And then Ridge went down in the third, got away, and that was the difference.
Learned from his semi last year.
He did the reverse and
Right.
got it done. Ridge Lovett, great competitor, was the best guy this weekend.
Also, shout out to him for being able to. I bet he's going to have a gnarly mat burn tonight. The way for like 20, 30 seconds, Henson gets that single leg, and then he's just on his forehead in kind of a waterfall position, and his face is
he
like
got
sliding
bonked.
across
He
the
went
mat.
down. Yeah, he got dropped down hard. That was insane.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, for Henson, it's like a little bit. It's a little bit of an unsatisfying match. Maybe you're thinking, man, but if you can't, and I'm not saying you can't, but if you don't go under and get away, it's like, that was the difference. And you got away from him, but
It's the effect Ridge has. He doesn't even have to choose top for his top game to be the deciding factor in a match.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And then 157 back-to-back Husker titles. They were one of, if not the stories until Wyatt did what he did of the weekend, and still just an incredible showing by Nebraska, getting second here. And I interviewed Coach Mark Manning and have said this. They had a national champion performance from a team. There's a lot of years that Nebraska performance would win NCAAs.
That has to be one of the highest second place team point.
I don't even know how many. Oh wait, shoot, they didn't
in
put the team
recent
scores
memory.
on here. Yeah, they did. Hold on, let me look.
You got final printed brackets?
I got them all, baby. Okay, 117. Yeah, that's not beating Penn State here recently, but 117 is a
No,
lot.
but I'm saying for a second place team.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm tossing out Penn State score in the past decade. That's got to be up there with the next second place
I mean,
finishers.
you probably have to go to 2018 Iowa, or Ohio State, probably for a closer one, or maybe Penn State in 2021. That's just what's coming to mind. But even then, I'm not sure. I mean, Oklahoma State scored 100 points. That's a ton. 100 points has won nationals before. But yeah, Nebraska, Antrell Taylor beats Joey Blaze. One takedown match for Antrell was the difference there.
Stung him right at the end of the first. Perfect. Low single, quick finish. Didn't have to ride. And then he put on, he stalled in the third, but I didn't think it was egregious, and I thought it was appropriately called. And he got called for stalling multiple times, warranted, but he earned the right to stall for the last minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Mitchell, Workman, scoreless first period. He was threatening, but there was an interesting scramble on the edge. But ultimately, Mitchell did what we all thought coming into this year was going to happen. He was, I think he was the one certainty we had that actually wound up happening, right? Like maybe, I mean, if you put Starocci there, maybe, but that's not a certainty. He was the only thing we thought we knew that actually happened.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of late there in the third, and I'm like, I kind of got a feeling Caliendo might get him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Obviously, it didn't happen, but it just it felt like Caliendo was kind of starting to feel himself a little bit there in the third period, and I was like, he might do it. He didn't, obviously, but tip of the cap to Caliendo. You look at the improvements he's made, going from getting teched by Mitchell, just beat down by Mitchell, to two really tough close matches.
Dean Hamdy, national champion at 174. To say I'm surprised is an understatement. And he did twice what we hadn't seen him do once, which is beat a national champion level guy. And the improvements he made. I mean, this guy DMP'd last year. He's a national champion, and he didn't find the right weight. Now there's no easy weights here. Don't get me wrong, but he went to a weight that had two other national champions, and he found a way to make it happen. And really, two maybe you would call them controversial takedown calls for Dean in the finals, but I thought they were both there personally. Watching, some people didn't, but I thought that last one was without a doubt a takedown. And
Yeah.
what was interesting is
I don't think last one's that controversial.
okay, good. Well, I felt like I was arguing with some people over here, but I thought the key was in the first period. And I feel like I forgot to even ask David about this or even talk about it much since, but Dean was bouncing on a foot for 45 seconds to a minute. And I just thought Keegan is just so good. He is a patient finisher. We saw it at Big 12s. He's going to do it again. And he managed to use his length really well. He had it in one armpit and it looked like he's going to get it. And then it ended up here. And then it's so much length to negotiate when it's in the far armpit. And
Hamdy was able to just hit that little limp leg.
limpy.
Down.
That was key. I mean, that really won him the match as much as anything, that defense there, because Keegan finishes that against literally everyone. And so Dean goes out a champion, beating two NCAA champions to do it. Incredible, incredible story. It's a statement for Oklahoma State, too. What they did. Cam Amin DMP'd last year placed. Caleb Fish DMP'd last year placed. Dean Hamdy DMP'd. He won the thing, beating two national champions. Wyatt Hendrickson took a couple losses last year. He got teched by Greg Kerfley last year. He beats him, and he beats the GOAT. People, you're asking if Gable's better than Kale like a week ago, and he just lost. That's what we just witnessed.
We have that answer.
We have that answer. Kale. It's the answer I gave before that happened.
And if there was any doubt if David Taylor's not going to be a good coach, that's gone. And I think this is really showing that David Taylor might change the game up a little bit. You think about like the feather in the cap too. To Hamdy beat a Penn State guy. He beat David Taylor's guy in the semis.
And Wyatt,
yeah,
too.
And Wyatt
beat Craig.
Wyatt beat Greg, and then took out a legend.
Yeah,
so
those are the conversations that
stuff.
are happening, right? Those are Penn State still, they are the top dog of top dogs in all of college sports
and
right now.
That's not changing,
no.
In the immediate future, but
this was a step.
Taking notice.
It was a step.
Are taking notice.
And really, recruits want to know that they can win a national title, right? And they want to know that they can win an Olympic title. And they just answered that question. Can I win a national title at Oklahoma State with these guys? Man, they just got these two on top. They got Troy Spratley from DMP to second. That's a statement. And certainly this is, and Coach Sanderson says this best, like, and I'm not trying to quote him, but he essentially says, man, you do your recruiting here. Every recruit watches this, and they all dream of that moment of getting your hand raised on this stage, the national finals. And you just have to have that. You have to have that vision. And Penn State still creates that vision more than any other program. But that step for Oklahoma State, that step for Nebraska, those are conversation changers. Those are perception changers. And you can't not mention or acknowledge that. And what a great year one for David Taylor. And, he even said, he's like, man, this is only, I haven't even been here a year, right? We're just getting, we haven't had a recruiting class yet. We still have a lot that we can do, but he certainly has a lot to be proud of for sure. And there was, nose run a little bit. Sorry, guys. There was a little bit of, in my own mind, I'm like, man, they had a great start to their year. Unbelievable. They blitzed Virginia Tech. They won Vegas in a way we had never seen. And then, the Big 12s
cooled off.
They went 1-6 in the Big 12 finals. Wyatt was their only champion. And so you do just start to wonder. I was like, I wonder do they have the formula to put it together at nationals? You do wonder that. And then seeing what they did, it it feels like this was a great statement by David and company, and really the athletes who executed the plan. But a great first year there. 197. Stephen Buchanan gets it done over Josh Barr. A locked hands call looked like it was going to change it and decide another 197 match. And Stephen locked hands in the second period, and then basically Barr got away, almost got a reversal. And then Buchanan was like a switch flip. He's like, I got to score. And he got a takedown pretty soon after that happened. Took the momentum back. He wrestled a really smart third period, got off the bottom. I think he maybe even had riding time as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he had escape and riding time to win 5-2. What a performance by Buchanan. You know, he made the move to come to Iowa and
Looks great all year.
was great all year. Even in his loss, you know, what can you say? He's been fantastic. He beat AJ Ferrari, who wound up getting third. And just an unbelievable performance by Stephen Buchanan. And for Josh Barr's freshman year, you can't be anything but excited for Josh.
That boy came to scrap.
He came to every time. And, you know, there's so much question. How healthy is he? You know, healthy enough. He was healthy enough to win a national title this year in this week and today. And Stephen Buchanan stood up to a guy that's feels imminent that Josh Barr is going to be standing on top of the podium eventually as well.
He's not going anywhere. I mean, the question is, and just wait. You feel like you come here, you make the national finals, you lose to a guy who's gone next year. 197's your weight.
Yeah. Look a little bit at the comments here, and then maybe we'll go. Yeah, Meyer Shapiro revealed he was in a coma a month ago. That's unbelievable. And he plays, so glad to hear he's okay. Charlene says that DT stepped into a well-oiled machine, killed to build from the beginning. Well, I would agree that he had a better, maybe had better things to work with. But I also remember this team got 10th last year, and they hadn't got a trophy in quite some time. I think 2017. So I don't know, a little bit. Kale certainly came in. You know, maybe this isn't the time for the comparisons, but I'm just reading.
I also want to say we got to do something about challenges. There needs to be a point or something. It's terrible. For a while there, it felt like anytime there was a takedown or action, it was going to get challenged, especially in the finals where things are going to be tight and coaches have the challenges. You know, they're not saving them. Now it's a little bit different in the earlier rounds sometimes, but it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a, you know, I'm just, I think the time for that conversation also is maybe later. But yeah, the product is, and Carter Starocci, check out the interview I did with him afterwards. He kind of talked about like, hey, we need to think about this product. Like we need to call stalling more. We need to make sure the guys are actually wrestling, and we need to think about that. But maybe that's where we end. We are running out of they are quickly taking off all the tablecloths, and I'm worried about my stuff over there. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. So much more to digest, so much more to discuss in what was a truly wall-to-wall insane NCAA tournament that had the greatest exclamation point, the most incredible exclamation point you could ever possibly imagine. Wrestling always freaking delivers. This tournament always delivers. So thankful for all of you that tune in so consistently. We love getting to do this. Thank you so much, JD. I'll give you the last word before we go.
See you Monday.
See ya.